Hi, and welcome back. It's been a very busy week. Besides the snow and the cold weather and everything else that we've had for this week, there's been also some canning that I've been doing. A friend of ours got a deer, gave us the bones. We gave him some of the broth that I made, but we're going to be using the broth for this recipe that we're going to be making. I've also went ahead and done some pickled peppers, cocktail tomatoes, and some pickled onions. Sam's Club right now has raspberries and blackberries pretty cheap, so I bought a whole bunch of that. I made some raspberry pancake syrup and made a batch of the blackberry lemonade concentrate just to have it around, just in case the electricity goes out with these storms that are going through. So that way we have at least something to drink, something to snack on, things of that nature. Today we are going to go ahead and use the deer stock that I processed this week to make some French onion soup. Okay. I got myself some onions, like a big bag, a 10-pound bag of onions. Only was like $7. I have already sliced this nice and fine. You kind of want them julienned, just like that. This is a very simple recipe, only has a few ingredients to it. But the most of the time that it's going to take is going to be the caramelization of the onions. So let's get started. Now we're going to go ahead and use one of our bigger stock pots for this. I usually can do water bathing in this. You can also use it as a stock pot. Since I am reducing 10 pounds of onions, we are going to use a full stick of butter. And just to let you know, we are going to be canning this. This is going to make a lot of French onion soup. We're going to go ahead and melt one stick of butter. Okay, and once that is melted, we're going to go ahead and add our onions. Here's part of it. Here's the rest of it. Now you do want to give this a good stir. It will reduce. So if you're not able to fit everything into the pot, just let it reduce down a little bit and then add the rest. I have this on low right now, and it's going to take quite a while. We're going to put the lid on this, let it do its thing, and then we will be back. It'll probably take around 30 minutes to reduce and another 30 to finish everything out. We're going to time this. It's 3:04 right now. It is now 3:52. It is now 3:52. This has reduced and it's almost done. I'm gonna call it good because my back is screaming. And you can't leave this alone. Okay, so whenever you are caramelizing these onions, you don't want them to burn. It did a little bit, because I did leave for about 2 minutes. So some of it did burn a little bit. But for the most part, it is nice and cooked down and caramelized. The reason why you want to do this is because raw onion has that bitter taste to it. This cooks out that bitter taste. So it's a nice sweet onion flavor. To the onions, we're going to go ahead and add garlic. I'm going to add about a 1/4 cup of garlic. Remember, this is 10 pounds of onions, and we are going to be canning most of this. Now, for the original recipe states that for every 4 cups of raw onion, 1 tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. Now, we're going to add about a 1/2 cup to this. And we're going to use this to deglaze the pan. So usually you use white wine or sherry for this. I don't have any. But this also adds a little bit of flavor to this. And let that warm up for a minute. And I have all the deer broth here. I have 3 full 1/2 gallons plus a little bit. I'm not going to be able to use all of this. I'm probably going to need to can some of this stock, but we're going to use as much as we can. We're going to add a few bay leaves, probably about 5 or 6. If they're small, we'll add more. And then we have all the time in the world. For this, I'm probably going to add about 1.5 tablespoons of thyme. You want this to simmer about 30 minutes and then taste test. The recipe says add salt and pepper to taste. There's plenty of salt in the Worcestershire sauce, as well as the stock that I made. So it's up to you if you need to add more or not. Just taste test to be sure, and then add salt and pepper as needed. Now this goes on medium, covered. We'll be back. I did add one more jar, make it really nice and full. And I am also going to go ahead and add some of the butter and bouillon. It makes it a little bit darker because the deer stock was very light, and it also adds a depth of flavor to it as well. I'm using vegetarian only because it's what I've got open. You can use beef if you're using beef stock. And you can make this vegetarian, you can make this vegan. You don't need to use butter. You don't need to use beef stock. Traditionally, it is beef stock, but you can use vegetable stock and olive oil to this to make it vegetarian or vegan. Now this is nice and done. You want to remove as many of the bay leaves as possible. This is what you want to can. Because of the stock, if you're water bathing, you want to water bath for an hour. If you're pressure canning, you want this to pressure can for about 25 minutes for pints, 35 for quarts, because meat stock has different times than vegetable stock or even meat times. There's no meat in here, but it's made with the meat stock, and that goes for any stock, chicken stock, beef stock, pork stock, in this case deer stock. We are going to let this cool before we fill up jars, but let me go ahead and show you how to serve this traditionally. You want to put in your soup. Well, hello there. Try to get as close as possible to onion to liquid ratio. We have a piece of toast, toasted on both sides. You can either break this up or cut it up into croutons or strips. Place it in the bowl. Traditionally, you would use Gruyere, I'm not saying this right, Gruyere type of cheese. We don't have that. We're going to go ahead and add some provolone cheese, already sliced, and some Swiss. Typically, you want to put this under a broiler to melt. And let's go ahead and get that done. Now, typically, this would be kind of like brown and bubbly and a little bit, melty. It's melty. I just don't have a way of torching it. A lot of cooks have that torch that just caramelizes everything. If you got one, use it. This one's mine. This has no bread. That one goes to Grandpa. That has bread. And that's it. Like I said, it's been a very busy week. I got the carcass of a deer all nice and deboned and made into soup. I processed 10 pounds of onions. I'm going to be canning this tonight and the rest of this weekend. I have cocktail tomatoes, you know, the cherry tomatoes that I put into my own peach vinegar and added spices like cloves and anise, things of that nature to make it like a sweet pickle. And then pickled peppers, pickled onions. Got the raspberry syrup. Got the blackberry lemonade. I am a little bit tired today. It's been a cleaning day. It's been that's what my day off is usually about. My therapist canceled on me. He wasn't feeling too good. So today has been just nothing but canning and processing the food that we have. Next, I don't know what we're going to be doing next week. All I'm concentrating on right now is keeping warm and trying to dodge these storms. Thank you for joining. Hope you enjoyed. And we'll see you next time.